Hey there, you are listening to One Season I Hate About You, the podcast where we look at Airbud Entertainment's Pup Academy. I won't say hit show because we've already established that is some very strong wording. I am here with the Inconceivable Reviews team, Chanelle.
Hey.
Charnstar.
Yes.
Kevin.
Hey.
And I'm Katie. And today we are looking at episode 11, The Substitute.
Dun, dun, dun.
A sick day for Morgan means an adventurous day for his friendly fill-in. Meanwhile, the pups get playful with a collection of creative pranks.
Am I slow, or are all of these things like really alliterative?
No, they definitely are.
Okay,
I feel
cool.
like they are alliterative.
Because I noticed it 2 episodes ago, and
Yeah.
I stopped thinking about it, and just now I'm like, that's another one.
Yeah. I think the one that I noticed was when they used the word fantastic. I was like, that's not the right word to use there, but you've thrown it in anyway.
It's an adjective.
Good for you. So we are about to go through the ins and outs of all of these pranks and sick day-ness. The Green God's also going to give you a recap. Make sure you go ahead, watch the episode, The Substitute, in full, because you don't want this thing spoiled. And we will do that. No regrets.
Wow, such a threat.
Hey guys, this is our Pup Academy Season 1, Episode 11 recap. So, Morgan's sick, so Izzy is a substitute. Yeah, whatever. I can't. So, yeah. Back at the school, they're all talking about the substitute teacher. Like, who is it? Let's go prank them and stuff. Like, the Bite, the small one. It's like a prank Master General or something. It's like, I'm gonna prank the new substitute teacher. And he's like, no, I wanna be the prank Master General. But they don't know that, but Corazon doesn't know that it's his own owner. So he's laughing because, he already set up, like, this marble prank. And then Izzy comes in and then trips over marbles. And then she's still fine. The only reason that Bite pranks her so she can just leave. So back at home, Morgan's still sick, and then Charlie and his mom are trying to cheer them back together. Like, cure him or something. And, like, cure him to be well and good, and so he can just go teach at Pup Academy. But then, like, they both have their own ways of healing people, like, the new version or, like, the old version of them, of like, medicine cures and stuff. They're all trying their own way, and they're all fighting about their own way to cure him. So, yeah. And then next prank is, like, kibble or something. Like, they're gonna feed, Izzy's gonna feed the dogs, but then she opens the closet where the kibble is, but then the kibble all falls out on her. And then that's another prank. Back with Morgan, he doesn't really care what cure, he gets, so they're all happy now, and yeah. And then the third prank was, like, that hygiene one, or I think it was this prank where, like, they're showing how to brush their teeth, but it's paint. It's like paint on teeth. And then one of the other pranks was, like, when they're playing this fetch ball game, but then like all they can is shoot this sticky toys that stick to you. Yeah, that was another one that I should have mentioned before that I forgot. So Izzy thinks that Corazon pranked her, but then Corazon talks to Charlie, and then Charlie talks to Izzy that Corazon's trying to stop the pranks. So Izzy makes, like, a fake prank or something, like, falls for the prank that Bite made on, like, snakes in a leaf pile or something. And then Charlie catches them pranking, like, go help that poor girl. So they get something out of the pile of bushes or, like, leaves, And then it was like a fake plastic arm, and they're all crying like it was plastic. And then Izzy jumps out like, surprise, we pranked you. And then now she's the prank master general. And Morgan's cured, but then Charlie and his mom are sick. That's the end for Pup Academy Season 1, Episode 11 recap. See ya.
Thank you to the Green God for that recap. The substitute.
Sorry, just noticed. Are they usually substitute groundkeepers?
No.
No.
Like if the groundkeeper's sick, they're like, we need to get one of his friends in.
I feel
With no qualification
Yeah.
whatsoever.
this is kind of like a mixed role. Like they say groundskeeper, but really this is almost like a groundskeeper teacher aide type hybrid role.
Yeah.
But no, usually no is the answer to that. I feel, and I may be being harsh, I don't think there was a lot to this episode. It was literally Izzy getting pranked and Morgan getting treated for being sick. So I want to kind of
Oh, sorry.
go off track for a bit.
All right, I'm fine with that because I don't think they're on much trouble.
So this episode, Izzy's obviously a substitute teacher, and so all the pups are pranking her.
Yeah.
What are our own substitute teacher pranking experiences? Do we have any? This is a thing, right?
I mean, I've always liked my substitute teachers. Like, I never pranked them. I was like, oh, cool, someone new. I'm not going to pay attention, but I'm not going to aggressively prank them.
I just realised I'm sitting around a table with a bunch of big fat nerds like myself.
Oh,
and this
yeah,
was
we
the
were-
wrong... We're all like,
Trying to say.
learning!
Well, I would prank them by respecting them equally.
Surprise, surprise, substitute. You're well respected.
I will admit to being a bystander while pranks were occurring, but I didn't do the pranking myself. Kevin, I feel like... Sorry, Chanelle, to skip you. I just feel like you're not a prankster
No,
at
I
heart.
never have been.
Yeah, no. Kevin, you're the most likely to have done...
It's never been the substitute. It was the actual teacher.
You are brave.
Yeah, I forgot what I did. Well, I got sent out a couple of times. But they wanted me back. Yeah.
Oh,
No more details.
Okay, well...
I feel like either it was so long ago you don't remember,
Yeah.
or you're like, got a dark secret that none of us know.
Maybe a bit of both.
This is incriminating. Don't put it on the internet. Meanwhile, we're all like... The most elaborate prank I ever saw was a substitute teacher's pencil case being thrown out a window, which isn't really...
That's not a prank. That's just assault.
Yeah, wasn't that great?
You've been pranked. Bang, now you got a black eye. How do you like them pranks?
When I was substitute teaching, a student played the bell, the sound of the bell on their laptop to signify that it was early, because they wanted to go to lunch early.
Right.
It almost worked.
Oh.
Yeah,
That's clever.
Yeah.
And that's also not like aggressive.
Malicious.
Yeah, it's let's get some time off, which when there's a substitute, we're doing anyway because who's paying attention?
Yeah.
Just put a movie on.
I'm glad it didn't work. I'm glad that, you maintained your...
How good were the speakers on
Integrity.
the laptop?
I don't know, but it sounded very
Maybe that's what made it realistic. It's like, oh, it's outside.
yeah.
Oh, this kid's a genius.
Yeah,
His
absolutely.
name Leon.
Oh, Leon.
Definitely not Corazon or Bite.
I want to... Yes! Good segue, Charnstar, because I want to talk about Bite. It was established, finally, in this episode,
Yes.
that Bite has been at this school
He's
for 4 years.
a
So,
repeater.
not only is he definitely not a puppy anymore,
He's
Yeah.
nearly dead.
I'm just wondering if Bite is in his 4th year at a 1-year school called Pup Academy,
His
what
Hexstat.
does Corazon have a hope?
Oh.
I'm sorry, but
Well, his
like,
exchange program worked.
Bite doesn't seem stupid though. Bite seems evil. Bite
Yeah.
is Malfoy.
yeah.
Whereas Corazon seems stupid.
Well,
So
maybe that's the purpose of the school, is that if you're not good enough, if you're not a good boy,
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Corazon's a good boy. He's just not a
He's just-
good boy.
Whereas Bite is not
good
helping to
Yeah.
perpetuate the idea of man's
Yeah.
best friend. It all makes sense.
4 years. Hello, fellow students. I'm your age.
Well, they mentioned it kind of like off the cuff in episode 1, and I was like, that's weird.
That was like, I thought it was a joke. I
Yeah,
thought they were
the-
making fun of him.
They mentioned it, but it like wasn't. It didn't like point it out or anything. It was
No.
just like, oh, you know, he's been here for years. I've been here for years.
Yeah.
I think it wasn't it Bite said like, oh, I've been king of the school for years.
I don't
Yeah.
even think he said years. I think he's just said,
It was implied.
I run this joint.
Yeah.
I've run it.
Maybe
It's
we're
always
idiots.
been me. who's run it.
Maybe it was always meant to be us because Chanelle pointed out that he doesn't look like a puppy. He looks older, and I was like, oh yeah, he's just a small dog.
Yeah.
Because I realized Mikey would be his age now.
Yeah.
Granted, I still call Mikey a puppy, but he's half corgi. He's small.
I wonder
Yeah.
if dogs. Oh, they probably don't understand. But like, can you imagine if dogs watch TV and go, "Oh man, that actor's actually the same age as me." It's like,
Yeah,
oh,
Mikey's sitting there going, "What's this guy doing, hanging out with all these kids?" He's dressed the same as them. It's pretty weird, if you ask me.
On Bite, we have another magical moment in this episode.
Ah, the sash.
Sash. We have a shot of Bite not wearing anything.
Yeah.
The way that I said that made it sound like wrong, but he's a dog, so it's fine that he's not wearing anything. But and then we cut back to him, and he's suddenly wearing this sash.
I got a good laugh out of that because when they said the laugh, that when they said, you'll get the sash, and then Corazone's like, "There's a sash." I assumed that was Bite pranking Corazone, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, that's a good prank.
Yeah.
Good prank, bro." But then he actually has a sash, and I'm like, "What?"
Yeah, and it says Prank Master General.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Which means it's a military rank, right?
yeah.
of course. Chihuahua, who has a military rank in pranking people. I'm not sure where it came from. I assume the same magical place as the cones.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe the toilet. Maybe we know wheelchairs come out of the toilet. Maybe also cones
Or
and sashes.
maybe his butt.
Yeah. It could be the sewers, could be the butt. We don't know.
I feel like you've come up with the most theories on this podcast, and this is the only theory you've come up with that I absolutely cannot get behind.
Probably it is a butt. Now you did.
Oh no. Anyway, this episode is full of pranks, and they flash back at one point before we get into the pranks, because I want you two to explain the pranks, but I want to talk about a flashback scene first, because they flash back to H-Dog. Is it H-Dog?
Oh yeah.
They flash
okay.
back to H-Dog's first day, and I want to know if they made a joke on purpose. Now, this joke didn't make me laugh, but in a flashback scene, H-Dog is seen being
yes.
pranked, and he says, "This is heavy." And I was like,
Is that a Back to the Future reference?
are they alluding to Back to the... That is... Because we had, you want the truce, you can't handle the truce. But that was
Okay,
very
yeah.
obvious. Whereas this flashback scene with the only person in the flashback saying, "This is heavy," I was like, that is a very subtle but
Specific.
reference.
Yeah.
I feel like it was purposeful. But I want to know, apart from us, are there any adults that have gotten 11 episodes deep into this show? Because I feel like a child is not going to pick up on this
I didn't pick up on
illusion.
Yeah, no, it's not until you've mentioned it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's only because it happened in
In a
the
flashback,
past,
yeah.
in a flashback, that I was like, what? Anyway,
wow.
which makes me...
Please write in, people. Are we going crazy?
Are we looking for things that aren't there? Maybe the sash wasn't there at all.
Dun dun. No, I know the sash was there because it comes back at the end.
Yeah. Got questions about that too. Tell us about the pranks, people.
All right, what was the first prank? Because the first
The
prank,
marbles.
Marbles.
that was Corazone's, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Corazone has established that he is the prank master general. He's the best at pranking. Who has Corazone ever pranked before? Where has he gotten the skills of pranking? He only knows Izzy and arguably that cat outside.
Yeah. I've never seen him prank anyone before.
So how does he gotten all these prank skills? Like, at least a Bite.
Quick learner.
Bite's been here for 4 years. He's had the opportunity to prank. Corazone, he's a puppy. He just came in. Why does he think he's the prank master general?
I don't know. I admire his ambition though.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. He's got ambition up the wazoo. So yeah, his first prank was the marbles. How
Yeah.
did that... It got triggered because Izzy walked in, right?
Yeah. So there were marbles on a stand?
Yeah, it was like in a bucket and then it was connected to a string. But then Charlie walked in beforehand and then Izzy walked in and tripped the wire. So why didn't Charlie
Oh my
trip the wire
goodness.
beforehand?
There's a close up on the legs
Yeah.
when the wire gets stripped.
This is so frustrating because I feel like we just established the Back to the Future illusion. Really amazing,
Yup.
really intricate writing, love it. And then this happens. What? Why?
It's so disappointing.
So disappointing.
But yeah, at this moment, as she walks in, that's when Corazon realizes, oh no, the substitute is his human. So he's got to get out of there. He can't prank no more. And that's when he decides to like fight back against Bite's pranks.
Yeah.
But also, when this prank happens, this establishes a weird thing.
Oh, yeah. So every time Izzy gets pranked, this weird music comes up. I don't know if you guys remember it. Like, how does it go?
It was like EDM or something.
Yeah.
and like it would go slow mo, and it'd be
That's
like,
right.
here's the prank happening, and then you'd see the dog going, yeah.
Yeah.
While this same EDM track would play.
Yeah, Bite's face too. He's like, yeah.
Oh gosh.
So of course, that's the first prank. The second prank is the same. It's Bite again doing the same prank he did to H
H-Dog, yeah.
which means that Bite isn't a good prank master general.
It's just
He's doing the
repetitive
same
crap.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's just the only one doing it.
Get some new material, kid.
Yeah.
You've been here 4 years. So yeah, he shoots terrible prank. He shoots them, and they're sticky.
So he shoots
it's
from
like
the
Velcro
fetch
or
ball
something,
So
yeah.
like the fetch
machine.
ball machine.
Yeah.
And all the fetch ball things are sticky.
Yeah.
And they happen to aim at Izzy. So they all stick on Izzy. And Izzy's just kind of confused.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
like, oh, is this what's meant to happen?
Yeah.
Which brings up my biggest problem with this episode. We just had an episode, which was the first time Morgan had to look after the Pup Academy by himself. He was given a huge list, and he was like, I gotta do all this stuff.
Yeah.
Couple episodes later, they're like, okay, Morgan's not going to be here. He's been here for a while, but he's not going to be here. Granddad's not going to be here. Yo, you have to do everything by yourself. You can't talk to dogs either. Deal with it. So there'll be times like when the dogs will talk to her and she's like, are you talking to me? Yeah. Hello? It's very, very mucky. So that's the second prank.
Yeah.
What's the third prank? Was there a third
I
prank?
think.
I don't remember. I think there is, because I think it's the third prank that catches her on to the fact
and
that she
realizes
is
she's
being pranked.
Yeah.
It's the kibble, isn't it?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
The prank is that the
You make a mess.
make a mess,
Classic.
She
classic
opens
prank.
the cupboard and all the kibble pours out.
and she's like, "Oh man, I gotta pick this up and put it back in, I guess."
Hang on. If they could have all of the kibble pour onto the floor, why couldn't they have the dogs eat the kibble?
We're going a few
I-
episodes back, but yes,
I'm annoyed. Unless the kibble that fell out of the cupboard was plastic and it was just...
maybe that's what they've done. Because like last time when they were eating, and this was the episode where I realized that their heads are in empty bowls, is maybe that the ones with kibble are just plastic.
I think they are.
And maybe the dogs aren't allowed to eat on set because they're given treats when they do well. When they do something good, they get given a
Right.
treat. As I understanding, that's how dog acting works. So yeah, I think that we might have cracked the case, guys. Plastic
Right.
kibble.
Plastic kibble.
That's
Delightful.
quite dangerous too.
Yeah, if the dog tries to eat it.
Yeah.
It's like the amount of times we have to take something from Mikey because we think he's going to eat it.
Yeah.
Because there were dogs in the room when that prank happened,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, loads of dogs.
Yeah.
Also,
Maybe they used Izzy's CGI editing
Techniques.
trick
Yeah.
to put the dogs in.
That's the real prank.
there we go. So this is how you do it. You film a shot with just the dogs. Then you get rid of the dogs and shoot a film just with Izzy dropping all the kibble.
Perfect.
Now you put the two together. Izzy can drop all the kibble and no one causes a thing.
Amazing.
But yeah, so that's the point that she realizes that she's being pranked. At what point does she realize that Corazon wants to be a prankster?
Okay, so she thinks it's Corazon doing the pranking, and then Grandpa Charlie's like, no, it's not. I will translate.
Why does she think it's Corazon?
Oh, just because.
I think he always happened to be there.
Right.
when it
Oh, because he's
happened.
trying to stop them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's always like, no, in slow motion
Yeah.
while the sick EDM music plays. And he's just like, I'm mildly inconvenienced.
Yeah, so Grandpa Charlie translates Corazone's barking and tells Izzy that it's not Corazon, that he's trying to stop it.
It's
Yeah.
that 4-year-old dog.
Why hasn't he been expelled? Why do you keep bringing him back?
Give him a job.
Just make him the new caretaker.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Izzy decides to prank the dogs?
Yeah,
Yes.
so Izzy teams up with Corazon and Charlie to prank Bite by, what was it? So they rake up the leaves.
Yeah.
And Bite has put fake snakes in there.
Yeah.
And she sees the snakes and goes, and falls down.
Yeah.
And they're going to run over. Oh, no. Charlie tells them, hey, you go help her. That's bad that you pranked her. And they're like, oh, okay, let's go help her.
That's right, because this prank starts with Charlie going, "Hey, Izzy, there are so many leaves that need raking. Rake them." The leaves are already in a pile. Yeah, because I remember seeing them in the background and I was like, what? Anyway, yeah.
So then Crab or Goyle runs up. He sees the hand sticking out of the leaves. He pulls on it and pulls off an entire arm.
And then the music came on.
The music came on. And Bite, and then they freak out. They're like, oh my god!
Yeah, this is the first time I laughed in this series.
Okay, good.
Because the line is, "She tastes like plastic." And I was like, I don't know why I found that specific line funny, but it was just great with everything else that was going on.
What's Morgan doing this whole time?
He's at home, he's sick.
Oh, right, yeah.
Oh, that's right. Morgan's mum and Charlie.
Who's a doctor.
She's a nurse.
She's a nurse. She-
Doctor?
Yeah.
She works
She's
at a
wearing
hospital.
scrubs, yeah. Competing
Yeah.
to, the modern medicine and, classic,
It's the Morganizing episode all over again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's the socks.
yeah.
I think you need to explain that a bit. You can't just say the socks.
The wet socks?
Old wet socks.
Old
that
wet
are like
socks.
stained
This is Grandpa's technique.
Yeah,
Puts it on what?
on his forehead.
That's right.
Yeah.
and put his feet in ice water.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because, as Charlie says, his mother was a medicine woman. And that's how he has all these techniques.
Yeah, it's
Which
old
begs
school,
the
baby.
question, how old is Charlie?
Vampire. Vampire
Nah, he's
old.
a giant.
He's a giant. Okay. Giant
Yeah.
old.
And there's the porridge thing.
No, it wasn't porridge. It was...
Soup.
What was it? Was it soup? It was chunky and...
Yeah.
It was
he wouldn't
dog
eat it
food.
himself.
he wouldn't. He threw it
It
away.
was dog food.
That's it. Yeah. He said that whenever the dogs were feeling sick, he'd give them that.
And then
Yeah.
I was like, oh, look at me. I'm here. Ooh. Does the old
I
throws
was-
backwards.
I was angry at him for doing that. I was like, Grandpa Charlie, that's not your house. Stop throwing dog food on the carpet.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man.
But that doesn't seem to be the thing that annoys the mum. The mum's like, no, give him medicine.
Yeah.
You're fine doing all this. And then they start their little thing. It's like, I'm going to try medicine and I'm going to try my old school ways and we'll see
Yeah.
who does it first, who gets them better first, who gets better in one day. Like when
Yeah.
you're feeling that sick.
But also, I was just like, this experiment is not being conductive. I'm not good at science. We've established this. But I know that that's not how you conduct an experiment on which technique works better, because you need to isolate
Yeah, you're doing both experiments on the same subject
At the same time.
That's why it got cured in a day.
Maybe that is
There
why.
you go.
the power of both.
Of all the techniques, the only one that I actually found funny was when he puts the steaming water, and he's like, there we go, just steam yourself, and that'll get the toxins out. Now, that's one I've heard before. And then the mum's like, oh, but it's chicken soup. That was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, yeah, no, that's good, because it's like, no, you're meant to eat the chicken soup. And it's like, no, but think how good it is if you steam it.
Do you know, Chanelle, did you get a note on what Grandpa said about modern medicine? I didn't write it down.
No, I just know that he didn't really believe. in
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was not a fan.
He is an anti-vaxxer.
He
Yeah.
is. It's now established. Oh gosh.
Boy. the gods are raining on us because
Yes.
we're talking crap about his favorite show.
So at the end of this episode, it's established that Izzy is actually the prank master general
General,
because she managed to successfully prank the prank master general.
Yep.
So the ultimate question for this episode is she wearing the same sash as Bite?
I thought the exact same thing.
Yes, because at the end of the episode, she's wearing the sash.
She has the sash.
And that sash was previously worn by a chihuahua. So is it the same?
Maybe they're the same size.
Look, if we're going by the cone logic, I'm going to say it's the same one.
The only other logic we could use is the sisterhood of the traveling pants logic.
Oh! The sisterhood of the traveling
Traveling.
prankmaster general sash.
Yeah.
With a 4-year-old dog and a 12-year-old girl.
Yeah. What could possibly go wrong? The only other note that I had on this episode before we wrap things up is that I can appreciate Grandpa Charlie because as much as his medicine doesn't work, he sneezes into his elbow several times in this episode. And I was like, good on you, Grandpa Charlie. You are what everyone in 2020 needs in their life. Sneezing into your elbow. Good job.
Do you have any moral messaging?
Sneeze into your elbow.
Chanelle?
No, not for this one.
No
It's a
morals
bit of
for this
a-
episode.
Yeah.
Don't prank the substitute groundskeeper. Because they'll prank you back.
I think don't perform a scientific experiment on the same person at the same time because it will make you both sick.
That is a good moral message.
And it's a limitation of the scientific process.
Ah, that was probably the words that I was looking for
Yeah.
4 minutes ago.
Science!
All right, if you enjoyed this episode and you want to check out more of our awesome content, head to our website, www.inconceivablereviews.com. We release reviews on new releases onto that website. We also have our podcast up there and links to all of our socials. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, we're on YouTube. We'd love to hear from you, so reach out, give us a like, and let us know what you think. And whether or not you also recover from the flu by steaming chicken soup.
Or putting old socks on your head.
Yeah, or putting
Dirty old socks.
dirty old wet socks on your head. These are the real questions.
That's not a euphemism too.
Oh.
Bye!